Shugendo, the way of power, is an ancient Japanese mountain religion that has found new energy in the high-paced urban life of modern Japan, where many feel cut off from the natural world. From Ishizuchi-san's simple, quiet rituals to Taisanji's loud and colorful fire ritual, Shugendo practitioners enter the mountains, the home of the kami, to perform intricate rites that give them insight and well-being, gathering their spiritual power. The rituals at Taisanji and Ishizuchi-san each contain many components, some of which are straightforward and apparent, while others are secret, their meanings hidden in an esoteric practice known as Mikyo. As in most world religions, Shugendo has numerous schools of thought and practice. One such school is Shinto, the indigenous religion of Japan. This prehistoric religion focuses on ancient animistic customs, rituals, and beliefs, and includes several ideas of kami. Kami, in the sense of spiritual beings, are thought to live alongside humans and wish for us to be happy. To make understanding easier, kami are often described as divine beings, as spirits or gods. But kami are not much like the gods of other faiths. They are not transcendent and omnipotent deities found in many religions. They are not perfect, they sometimes make mistakes and behave badly. And most important, they are not inherently different in kind from human beings or nature. They are just a higher manifestation of the life energy, an extraordinary or awesome version. They don't exist in a supernatural universe. They live in the same world as human beings and the world of nature. Because of this, kami can also be thought of as a property. It is the sacred or mystical element in almost anything, and is what makes an object itself rather than something else. This presents itself in the rituals and the culture in many ways. The first is in the multitude of shrines, ranging from the local state shrine to the new shrine built from stucco, to ancient wood shrines found inside mountains. Each shrine is honoring someone or something of awesome power. Most often, this is an ancestral person. The second are frequent folk festivals and events held throughout the year. Here, we can witness a middle school group in the Kamiyama Spring Festival performing a traditional bunraku play. One of many methods in which Shinto ethics and traditions are assimilated by the young. The third are the ancient magical customs that are so complex that to even begin to locate and understand even a fraction of them would take a lifetime of study and practice.
それでは中に進みます。
じゃあどうぞ、人もの後に続かれまして進んでくださいませ。
Another school of practice is esoteric Buddhism. Buddhism brought a strong institution to the indigenous and folk practices of early Japan. Kukai, the founder of Shingon Buddhism and a founding figure of Japanese esoteric Buddhism, was a strong advocate of pilgrimage to remote and treacherous areas. He dropped out of school and went to Shikoku Island, home to Taisanji and Ishizuchi-san, to begin his practices in the remote wilderness, where he connected and resonated with earlier mountain shaman traditions. Today, practitioners of Shugendo are called Shugenja, those who are in training, or Yamabushi, those who lie in the mountain. Both follow practices similar to those Kukai had set down. These two traditions, Shinto and Buddhism, coexisted quite peacefully for many centuries. Unfortunately, due to political pressure, they are now most easily described by being controlled by Shinto, or Buddhist authority. As explained by the head monk at Nan-Kobo, this division was thrust upon Shugendo when Buddhism and Shinto were separated in 1868 under a government policy called Shinbutsu Bunri, which created this remnant polarity. Regardless of the Meiji government's policy, in 1873, the government admitted that the effort to elevate Shinto above Buddhism had failed. This left a religion where rituals often differ, but the end goal remains the same. One of the 7 holy mountains of Japan and one of Japan's 100 tallest, Ishizuchi-san, is home to a Shinto Shugendo sect. It is said that Inyo Gyoja, the founder of Shugendo, and his follower Hogen, opened the mountain at Ishizuchi-san and consecrated Zao Gongen, Kumono Gongen, and the 36 Oji there. The Yamabushi worship the Gongen, Shinto and Buddhist deities, and perform rituals to garner the favor of the gods to deliver their power for the well-being of all things. Like all of Shugendo, activities center on the arduous experience of climbing sacred mountains. The ritual starts at the shrine. The route then goes through several sacred sites and ends on the highest peak. This ritual welcomes the first day the pilgrims come down the mountain and starts with an offering to the kami enshrined there. This ritual, often very quiet, is a time of great respect for the kami, as the Shinto Yamabushi attempt to garner the favor of the mountain with their merit. Because of the magical significance of the ritual, people find this an important time to make pilgrimage to the sacred mountain and provide offerings in many ways. Here we can see a pilgrim performing 100 circuits between 2 shrines and a predetermined marker, and back to perform the offering ritual. Another offering is playing the horogai, which comes from an ancient communication device used to relay war commands from one mountain to the next. Now it is used to expound the Dharma and the call of the Gongen throughout the mountain ranges of Japan. It differs from other conch horns in that the horogai has 3 to 5 pitches and is audible for miles, making it the perfect tool for communication. Regardless of the Taisanji, Beikaku number 1 on the Shikoku pilgrimage, and home to a Buddhist Shugendo sect, is one of 20 sacred temples outside of the official Shikoku Junrei. The Goma, a semi-annual event held every spring and fall, is a fire ritual conducted to gather the power of the Buddhas for the well-being of all things. A significant part of the annual activities at Taisanji, the Goma invokes the power of Fudo-myo, patron Buddha of fire and water, to ensure a bountiful growing season. Symbolizing the body of Fudo-myo, the great bonfire carries requests for good rain, personal wishes, and ritual performances to the heavens, where the kami will listen to the requests on behalf of the Buddha and carry them out. This ritual is composed of 4 major elements. The first, common to most temple activities, is the offering of sutras to the enshrinements. The second is preparing the sacred fire space. Fudo-myo, like the unwavering and immovable mountain warriors from whom he is identified, protectively watches over the Yamabushi as they perform the dangerous task of purifying the Goma space. Fudo-myo's fierce presence has earned him the nickname, the Destroyer of Delusion. His weapons are found at the front, blessed and prepared for the task of cutting the ritual area. The Yamabushi lay out the marked space by shooting arrows into the 4 corners, and then the sacred fire area. The space is then purified with a sword. And axe, making the space a fit area for communing with the Buddhas and the kami. The final part of the purification rite is the sanctification of the space by the use of the sutras. The third of the ritual's major elements is the offering of prayers to the sacred fire. Written on small sticks that are burned to carry personal wishes and requests to the Buddha. The temple master guarantees the wish's success by symbolically offering oil, leaves, and seeds to the fire by tapping the stones that are placed in front of him. The final element of the Goma is when the attendees receive health and protection by having smoke rubbed on their bodies or possessions. This traditional act of blessing is extended by the distribution of unique protective talismans, which are immediately put to the test when the pilgrims walk across the sacred fire. Regardless of the differences, the goals remain the same: to welcome in the spring and to ask the deities for a good growing season.